Okay, before I wrap these babies up and put them away, these are two Elenco amplifiers. Weird amplifiers, hard to find, very little information on any of them. For the longest, I didn't even know what model number that was. This Elenco Long Ranger, and actually this is also an Elenco Long Ranger. AKA this is the model LR-1, and the LR stands for Long Ranger, and this is an Linko LR-6, and again the LR stands for Long Ranger. Very little information on them, but the one weird thing about both of them is that they have a preamp, and what they do is they run it through the output tubes. Kind of in reverse. You know, the output tubes normally goes to the output to make more watts, but they run it towards the input. So the output of the output tubes comes from your antenna and goes toward the input to your radio to amplify the receive. And at first I thought that was a terrible idea until I actually seen it, because it's going through the tune and the load, you know, and that's the tune and the load on this one. So it's going through the tank circuitry, the same that the output of the tubes go to on output, where you tune it up to get all the watts, you know, going out on that frequency that you tune it up for, or a resonance, you know, if you want to use the official word. But what these do is you tune it for resonance, you know, the same resonance for the output. It's the same resonance for the receive. So they the preamp works great on these. Only thing I don't like is you're running the tubes, you know, not hard, but all the time, even on receive, because you're, you know, again, have them activated, and they're on all the time too with these amps. If you notice, there's no standby switch or preamp switch or anything like that. You plug it in and turn it on, and there's no separate relay. So it has to, if you put this in line, it has to be either one. It has to be on for it to work, because there's no, you know, feed through relay or anything like that. It's always feeding the reverse preamp. I guess this really is kind of like a reverse backwards preamp, but weird amps. And this one's even weirder, this LR-1, because of, you know, what's the front of this thing. You know, I've done this before, but that's the you know, power light and the RF light and the tune and the load, those screwdriver adjustments, and then, you know, that's where the coax go on that, if that's a side, and then your power switch and circuit breaker are over here, and then the power cord is on the far side there. So I guess this might be the front, but if it is, you know, you turn it on from there and your coax go into there. That's just a strange configuration. This one is a more normal configuration. Those are original knobs on it. I guess they did that so it looks cool. I guess, you know, I kind of like those knobs, but weird amp. This one does have a receive gain on it. You can turn the gain up or down, you know, from, you know, what your regular receive would be. You can go up a little bit or down a little bit. It's not a ton of gain. But what I do like about it, again, is that the preamp goes through your tune and the load and that tank circuit. So it's very narrow, so it actually cuts a lot of noise. You know, you hear people say all the time that, you know, preamps aren't no good. They bring in more noise than they do signal, which is probably true for 90% of the preamps out there. But your better preamps, you know, have tuners in them, whether you can adjust them or they're internal inside. You know, they got tuners and cans or stuff in there so that they filter out that noise. And again, what I like about these is that filtering is through the tune and the load there. They don't do that with a normal preamp, because, you know, it's made so you don't have to tune it every channel. Would you really want a preamp where, you know, if you want to scan the band every few channels, you would have to retune the preamp. That would be a narrow band preamp. They could make them, but, you know, would you really want it where, you know, every a couple channels you got to retune that thing? So on this, again, you know, since you got to tune the amp anyway, you tune the amp, it's tuned for the preamp too. So I kind of like that idea. I may look into, you know, doing that on a couple other amps when I get time and start playing with my stuff. Anyway, that's going to be it for this Elenco Long Ranger LR-6. And then this Elenco Long Ranger LR-1. Alright, that's going to be it for this one before I put these babies all wrapped up away. Bye.